It's like you've been afforded another opportunity to do life differently. Some guys take advantage of it. Maybe some guys don't. But definitely Kenji did. It seems like you have. Frankie has. Andrew has. So it's like a lot of guys have. In their own way, obviously, and then, obviously they go through their own trials and tribulations of overcoming, obviously, things that haunt them from that past life to move forward in their new life, and that's all part of it too, Did your, what?
I mean, there are certain, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There are certain things that, that we're all ashamed of that we have done in our past, and you want to somehow atone for them. We all have different stories.
Right.
I guess, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We want it to become better. For me, it's just being with my kids, seeing my son being in the best college in the country and finishing up his graduating years this year. And to know that I'm going to get to see it.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to see him turn 4. He was 2 when my dad, died. So I just thinking about it right now cracks my voice.
Of course.
Because I know when I'm going to be in the stadium with 50,000 people, seeing my son, finish with a 4.0 straight up average on a full academic scholarship at the best school in the country. It's probably the best thing in the world, pal.
And that's a testament to you as a father, because you put that focus and effort into harnessing his life and making sure, straightening him up when he may have gone down, made a mistake or whatever. Had you stayed in that life, whether, your father was, still around or whatever, however, and things definitely could have turned out totally different for your son. It's one of those things where it's like you always hear in these situations where the father's involved in the life, or multi-generational, different generations are in the life. It's more chances than none that the son follows, the grandson will follow. And you broke that chain, and look at what, now look at your son. It's like now he's successful, but in another whole other life, so that's amazing.
It's a whole new cycle, brother. It's
right.
A whole new cycle. It's a complete 180 for me, but just to be a part of his life, to coach him through baseball, like to watch my daughter coach her through softball and succeed, and now she's finishing up her last year of high school, ready to follow her brother. And then I got a little guy who just turned 10.
Oh, so, cool, man. God bless.
Yeah, so, brother, listen to me. I am 20 years out of the game. I'll take it.
True that.
And I say that without kicking sand in nobody's face.
Right. Me. In your situation, you've been nothing but respectful.
You want to hear something? Listen, I'm going to put this out there. I've been reading about Colin being sick, and for some reason, it's been hurting me in my heart that they will not let this man go home at 30-something years in jail. His wife is sick. He is sick. And he's blind. He's in a wheelchair. And I reached out to his lawyer, and I said, please, if I can write a letter, anything, just let me know. And he got back to me. He said, Billy, thank you so much. He says, but, respectfully, I had to, decline. And I appreciated it, and...
Hey, you know what, though? I'm sure word got to Carmine that you made that offer, And
yeah, no, it did. It definitely, the word definitely did get to him.
These guys, especially bosses, they're like trophies for the government. And I'm not making excuses. A lot of these guys did a lot of raunchy shit, but but they're not going anywhere, you know. So Carmine, unfortunately, will pass away in prison, just like John Gotti did. You know, that's just that's the reality of it. But
that's it. So she wrote.
And now, speaking of somebody who else will pass away in prison, which is bizarre because he actually gave information against the mob, is Anthony Casso. So, did your father? What did your father think of him?
Him and Gas were good friends. I was friendly with his son, Little Gas. I think after a while, my father thought he was a little fucking wacky, but
right.
But my dad didn't mind that, you know. But he just knew he was fucking nuts. But no, they were friendly. They were friendly with each other. They had no beef.
Right.
They were good friends.
Man, he knew how to make some money. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah. If you ever get a chance to speak to someone who made some real fucking money in the Colombo family, I don't know if you had a chance to speak to Michael Francini, but if you ever get a chance,
right,
reach out to him. I can try to get a message to him, but reach out to him if you can, and he will give you probably the interview of your life. He was making millions and millions of dollars a week just in gas tax.
Now, did you know Michael pretty good on the street?
No, I didn't have the pleasure to know him on the street. I only got to know him after he got off the street and walked away from the light. That's when I got a chance to know him better.
Was your dad close with his dad at all, or?
No, I can't say that they were close, but my father respected his dad a lot. I mean, my dad told me that he was just a diehard. But I can't say that they were close, because he was away a lot.
Right.
So,
right.
I didn't get a chance to know him on the street either.
And you look at his dad, it's like, I mean, obviously you can tell he's an older gentleman, but he sure as hell looks good for his age, man. It's unbelievable.
Not only that, but you know what I give him a lot of credit for, Sonny, is that he still accepts Michael. You know, he still loves his son, and I mean, hey, that's a beautiful ending to a beautiful story. See that picture of two of them together, you know?
Absolutely. Because, I mean, then you could look at the flip side of that, and you look at somebody like Frankie, you know, his father wanted to kill him. So it's like you have one extreme, and then you have another extreme, you know?
Yeah, when Frankie shared his story with me, it was so hard for me to relate because, you know, I can't say that my dad pushed me away from the light, because he didn't.
Right.
But Frankie's dad kind of was yanking him into the life, and even when Frank didn't want to be a part of the life anymore, he didn't respect his wishes, and I don't think my dad would have done that to me. So when Frankie shared that story with me, I found that really heart-wrenching. Now,
do you think at any point in time, do you think your dad ever, had he had a chance to live, do you think he ever would have walked away from the mob, or no?
No.
He was like somebody that lived and breathed that lifestyle.
You know, when he came home from jail in '95, I was on the shelf for about a good 6 or 7 months. You know, he shelved me for a while because he was pissed at some shit I did when he was away. But when he took me off the shelf, he just said to me that he was just going to worry about our core guys, which is about 5 or 6 of us, and that he was going to try to start taking a step back, you know, from things, you know, to try to take a little heat off himself. And I guess he thought between all of us together, we could have handled everything, and he would have been good. We all would have been good.
Do you think at the Persicos, you know, do you think that they, you know, had your father killed because when Alley Boy was going away, I mean, did they think that your father was going to try to make some kind of play to take over the family, or?
No, you can definitely go to bed with that. Listen, I don't have to be in fucking Allie's mind to know what the fuck he was thinking.
Right.
He's shitting himself. he was deathly afraid of my father, and I'll go to my grave with that. He definitely was. But when my father came home from jail, he just wanted peace. He didn't want no more bloodshed. He just felt that was enough.
Right.
And he accepted being demoted, down to soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was for me it was hard to see, but people still treated him as a captain, so it didn't really matter. But in good faith, he took it, he ate it, but I don't think he ever would have walked away from life. I don't think he would have had a chance to. I think if he didn't get killed, he definitely would have been doing life in jail right now, without a doubt.
Right.
I probably wouldn't have been too far behind.
Well, I say there's only two ways out of that life, but I guess there's multiple ways, but generally and historically there's two ways,
I chose door number 3. Yeah, I chose door number 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Now, the day that he went to that fateful meeting, do you think that he knew that he was going to be hit that day, or do you think he honestly thought he was going to a sit down?
Well, what I found, what was odd, I knew that he was pissed that this meeting had gotten changed, that it got moved up. My father didn't like shit like that, especially if he had union business, and he did that day.
Right.
So we had to leave early, which was annoying to him. But I don't know. I have a hard time believing that whether it had been maybe 10 seconds before or maybe 10 minutes before, but something tells me that he had to have known it was coming.
Right.
He was just too smart, and I felt we went to a war where they talked about killing them from a helicopter, and Hasidic Jews came down our block, and we caught the move. I'm just saying, we made it to all that shit, and they got him the way they got him. For the life of me, it just didn't make sense.
It's like they held this long seething animosity. When Allie Boy was going away, they probably looked back on the war, and they were afraid that, okay, well, William's a powerful guy, and he's liked in the family. He might make a play for the family, and he could take it over, and maybe they felt, obviously, as you just said, they felt threatened by him, and being that they saw that he wasn't loyal to them in the past, they decided to cut their losses or whatever, but it's just strange that they would wait, that long later after all of that passed to do it. It's crazy,
I blame Jackie more than I do Allie, because I think Allie and my father could have coexisted.
Right.
It was Jackie that could not deal with the fact that my father just passed him up. Jackie was just fucking stupid. I'll go to my grave with that too. He's just dumb. Look what he did to Allie. He took Allie down himself. His own fucking words buried Allie, and it came back to bite Allie in the ass, and Allie's doing right for it now. But, I'm sure fucking Allie is pissed at fucking Jackie. And meanwhile, Jackie has sons running around Staten Island, straightened out, and I don't know who the fuck would be listening to these fucking dumbasses, but I blame Jackie more than I do Allie. Like I said, I truly believe they could have coexisted. Allie could have kept the title as boss, and my father would have been an acting boss, and they would have coexisted, because there were a lot of guys on the fence. There were a lot of guys I had to go see that were afraid to come out of their house. That told me, Junior, please, just tell your dad we're not saying that we're not on his side, but we just want to see how things are gonna shake out.
Right.
So my father didn't even fault guys for that. There were certain guys who were up there in age who didn't want any part the backing of other families. And I think that is what really scared Allie the most, is that, hey, if Bill's got the backing of, let's say, John's family and the West Side and, let's say, everybody else, now what do we do? Now the Persco dynasty is going to start dying.
Didn't you say that did Gotti support the Arena faction?
Yeah, he did. I mean, that was, for John, it would have been, another feather in his cap to have the Colombos with him, to have another family, some people said that John was playing strings. Listen, I was there every weekend, and I didn't see him playing strings. I saw a genuine likeness and love for Joe Scopo, a love for my dad, and a dislike for Carmine from John.
And like you said, it would have been, beneficial to him as well, because it would have given him more control on the commission.
Of course,
right,
absolutely, right. You got another seat at the head of the table. That's with you, of course, without a doubt.
So you wore a wire and testified against Jackie DeRoss, right? You wore a wire against him, or on him?
I guess you can call it a wire, or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to go into the details of what it was, but
right.
It was just by chance that the one conversation that did him in was, I just happened to capture I don't want to say by accident, because I knew he was at the door, but I had just happened to have something sitting there, and I just turned it on. Just started to talk about this private investigator, and Allie wants us to say this, and I think he went into saying something about my goddaughters. Don't you have those two beautiful, goddaughters? Daughters. He's telling my sister, your husband's got that great union job, and so he was kind of like, I knew what he was doing. So, my mother and my sister really weren't having it. I'll give them a lot of credit. They were ballsy, and they were telling him, we know you took my father's spot. My mother's saying, yeah, I know you took my husband's spot. And this is all getting picked up on this recording device. So, but the thing that I think what I did best was, because I was so fucking angry that it was my dad's best fucking friend that did him in, was just the satisfaction of knowing that, hey, I am walking away from this life. You ain't owning me. I was never going to take fucking orders from you. They were sending for me for months and months and months, and I kept telling them to go fuck themselves, and they didn't do a fucking thing. I'm like, you guys ain't walking me down no fucking basement. What, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
I'm like, you want to come see me at my father's house.
Right, so that's essentially what they were trying to do, was lure you somewhere, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Very interesting. So, and was this all coming from messengers from Jackie? Was it Jackie that was behind sending for you?
Yeah, Jackie would go see my father's next door neighbor. Was a very close friend of his for many, many years. And this guy, was very close to my dad. And Jackie would go over to his house and to try to make me go over there. And I remember getting mad at my dad's close friend and saying, why are you doing this to me? I'm not coming over here while he's here. He wants to see me or talk to me. He can come across to the other house. Because I knew there was a certain part of me, Mike, that wanted them to know or find something on me to say, oh, okay, we think he's recording us, or we think he's a rat, or so. I was praying that someone was going to come and approach me with that. This way I can say all I was doing was defending myself, but it never came.
Right.
It never came. There was a couple of times I caught guys sitting on my apartment, but I had my pistol on me, and, they just drove away. Other than that, then I started staying by my father's house a couple of nights a week, and my apartment a couple of nights a week, so I just kept switching it up.
Tell me about the trials. Like, how did that all come about? Like, so I mean,
one thing that I got to be honest with you that I'm happy about is that I didn't have to testify.
Oh, okay.
The tapes that they had were enough, and then they had some handwriting analysis of Jackie taking over my dad's stuff, which kind of did him in. Then the FBI raided Allie's house, and they found a disc with, he had a disc, fucking idiot, in the stove with all my father's child records on it. I think there were like names of members of the family on there. Pure stupid shit.
After your father disappeared, didn't you say Jackie came to your house and like walked in your house and started going through your dad's office and stuff?
Oh, he tried. I mean, he tried. I said, you know, you can walk around. I tried not to impede because, you know, at that point, I couldn't like obviously tip myself to him. So I had to make it like I was like trying to help him look for shit, but meanwhile, I knew that he wasn't going to find anything because I knew where everything was. So,
right, and you could just play dumb, like, look, man, I don't know where my dad kept stuff. I just know here.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He came to my mother's house one night. And he wanted my dad's Shylock book and everything. And my dad used to have like a lot of money he used to keep in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Usually bookwork he would keep somewhere else, not on premise.
Right.
And they were never together. Money and the book were never together. So he had come to my mother's house late at night, and I was there. And he's telling my mother, get me the book and get me the money. It's up in the attic, I think. So my mother goes upstairs, and she's about to bring down like a whole bunch of money to him. And I run upstairs and look, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. And she's like, he wants the book and he wants the money. I'm like, listen, you're not giving him nothing, okay? I take out a whole bunch of money. I throw a couple of envelopes in a bag, and I come downstairs with this bag. It looks like there's a lot more in it. He's like, look, I went to go hand it to him. He's like, no. He goes, follow me to my house. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. So my mother's like, yeah, go ahead, go.
What?
I'm like, now she knows. Yeah. So now she knows that there's no money in the fucking bag. She doesn't know what I'm doing. She doesn't know that I'm, working with the governor. But anyway, I follow him. It's pitch black. I'm saying to myself, Jesus, this is it. I'm definitely going to get capped. He pulls into his driveway. He goes, I'm going to go into the yard, he says, and he goes, throw the bag over. So I'm like, all right. I got my pistol on me. I got the bag. I throw the bag over the fence. So I'm like, listen, I got a jet. He's like, wait. Hold on. He's like, Buff, this feels light. I'm like, hey, listen, that's what I gotta go. So I jump in the car. I get back to my mother's house. I went to that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I said, are you trying to get me killed?
Right.
I'm like, you knew I went there with an empty fucking bag. What's wrong with you?
Right. So yeah, go ahead and go with him. And not only that, good thing you were home, because she just would have handed everything right over to him.
Thank God I was there. Thank God. God knows what she would have gave them. Forget it.
Right.
Forget it.